Would you mind just summing up how you think your kind of campaign as a whole has gone?
Yeah, I think obviously we've had quite a tough ride in terms of injuries right from the start, really. But I think we've had some positive performances. I think you have to look at the young players who have had an opportunity and have really stepped up. The likes of Aisha Sutcliffe, Holland Bogan, I think have been unbelievable when they've come on. And I said in the circle just then, it's tough to take just now, but I think the learnings that we've made as a group over the last 6 or 7 weeks, it will pay dividends in the future. But I think those are the positives that we have to look at, and we build from here.
Sorry, Sophie, is it Helen and Sione there? Do you want to make questions for Helen first?
Yes, please, thank you.
Helen, Sione mentioned briefly on TV that the team need to learn how to start games, up to speed. Was that obviously an issue for you? Why? How can you explain the first half performance?
I'll need to watch it back to give you a full answer, to be honest. But I think we said at halftime that we were losing the kick battle. We were definitely getting pinned back with that and probably not making the best decisions in the moment about whether to run or whether to kick back. So that was probably a big one, and we struggled to get a foothold. And then, we just didn't have any possession first half, and it's a really tough place to be, especially with a filled out stadium like that. Momentum goes against you. But I think, reflecting second half, to come back out and put a performance in like that, we have to be proud of that and take that moving forward.
Just on that, I know that you're missing a lot of experience, but is there not still the experience within the team, within the squad, to adapt maybe a bit quicker during that first half?
It's tough to say right now. In the moment, it was frustrating, conceding back-to-back scores there. And yes, we probably could have, especially with the experience in the backs and the back three, we probably could have adapted quicker in terms of that kicking game. But like I said, the experiences that we're having as a team at the moment with those young guns having these tough moments, it's as frustrating as it is right now, it will pay off in future and something that we can use.
I just wonder what the message was like from Sione at half time, and did he have to kind of let rip a little bit? Was there frustration there?
I think there was frustration with the coaches, but there's frustration within the squad as well. We know if you're that many points down first half, it's absolutely not where we wanted to be. So yes, there was points from them, but I think looking at ourselves, we know we needed to be better, and we were proud that I'm proud that we turned that around second half.
Thanks.
Just one from me, Helen. How important is it to get a really good summer with the squad all together? Obviously, it's been quite a quick turnaround before the Six Nations. How important is the summer going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be huge. But I think, first off, again, I said in the circle there, I think a bit of time off. It's been a really long season off the back of the World Cup and then into club season. The number of injuries, I think there's a lot of tired bodies. So that mental reset will be huge for us. And then once we're freshened up, we'll come back in for that pre-season and be all together and we've got a big block of time into pre-season, then into the WXV format. So yeah, it's a really exciting block of time coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions for Sione now, guys.
Sione, how hard were you able to be at half-time? There's always a fine balance between really giving your players a hard time for being below par and trying to recognising that some of them are young and inexperienced and need a bit of encouragement.
Yeah, I guess the balance point there, Stuart, is when we say we're being harsh, we were frustrated that we weren't implementing and executing a plan that we had, and that we weren't playing to our potential. So it was more around us going out there and actually implementing what we felt we were good at, and to transfer some of that pressure onto Ireland. But full credit to Ireland, they played really well, started well, drew energy from the crowd, but we're better than that. And unfortunately, the first 40 minutes wasn't a reflection of that. The second 40 minutes is much more pleasing because clearly we went out, we competed, and gave ourselves an opportunity to score points.
Was there a confidence issue in the first half? Because, to be blunt, a lot of the defence looked half-hearted at times from some players.
Well, I think it's one of those things that at times we're looking for big momentum shifts, where the reality is it's little moments across the whole 40 minutes that are so important. Unfortunately, when we did shift the momentum, other elements went against us in terms of set piece under pressure. So there's probably a few answers in there that we were able to turn around at half time that we were able to then obviously transfer into the second 40.
Sione, I think these are the games that you would acknowledge that these are the teams that you should be judged against. Where do you see the team at in terms of its progress or lack of during the championship?
Well, I think you've got to be pretty honest with ourselves, don't we? We're exactly where we should have been. We beat Wales and then have lost the other 4 games. So clearly, there's a gap between us and the top 3 that we need to work really hard to close. Really disappointed in the margins of the scorelines, even though we've had injuries. That's part of it. We understand that. But what we need to spend time over the summer is just closing the gap, working really hard as a collective and making sure that when we turn the corner for WXV, we're all on the same page and really excited to play some quality opposition.
Is that it? Is the manner of these defeats the most alarming part? And can you sort of come up with the solutions if you get a few more injuries in another campaign that you can show some signs of being able to cope?
Yeah, it's one of those things, Gab, where when you look at and we review back in the games, the percentages in terms of where we're slightly off aren't big, but we're also playing quality teams. Like Ireland have built over the last 3-4 years and have a lot of depth coming through their Celtic teams. They obviously played really well through the Celtic, which has then given them confidence, and then you add their experienced players into it. You've got to give credit where credit's due. Where we're at the moment is when you take 12 players out of a starting team, it makes it really hard to compete week in, week out. And obviously the silver lining to that is that we've got a lot of young players now that have been exposed. We've got players that haven't had as many minutes in a Scotland jumper, getting more minutes. And, as cliched as it might sound, those lessons are going to hold us in good stead as we go forward. Where we are now, though, is disappointing that on the back of these results, we have to be pretty hard and look at all aspects of the program and how we can improve it.
I just wonder how you reflect on your first sort of campaign in charge. Is this a tougher job, a different job to the one you expected, or are these challenges, were you kind of eyes open to how the scale of the challenge, I suppose, when you took over?
Well, I think the challenges have been magnified with the number of players unavailable, to be honest. It was never going to be an easy transition coming in after a World Cup cycle. We knew change was about to happen. The bigger challenge is there when you don't have that leadership and you don't have that level of athlete on the field, then what it's exposed is where we need to work really hard at closing the gap. Clearly our Celtic players and then that tier of player that hasn't had as many minutes over the last 2-3 years need more exposure, need more work, and our job over the summer is to close that gap.
Thanks, Sione. All the best.
Thanks, man.
Sione, just Italy were at this one, first half, both kind of blown away. I mean, can you kind of put your finger on why the start's happening so slow?
Yeah, there's a few things that we're going to look at through the week on how we prepare. Obviously, right from the outset of the game when we put ourselves under a bit of pressure and Ireland was able to convert that, it doesn't it doesn't help, does it? And then our response to that is something we need to be better at, just making some adaptations earlier rather than giving opportunities to the opposition. So it happened against Italy and it happened against Ireland. So I'll take responsibility of that as the head coach around some of the tactics and our adaptability within that. But what we clearly need to work on as a collective, though, as a playing group as well, is how we go back to core principles and those core elements that will allow us to get a little bit of a foothold in the game.
And just in terms of looking forward, obviously, like Helen was saying, you guys will be looking forward to a break and seeing your families, but in terms of when you guys all get back together, will it be sort of August time, or what's the kind of planning for that? Yeah,
we get a little bit of time now to review, obviously, the campaign. We want to look at all elements of the program, top to bottom. So we'll take a couple of weeks to do that, and then we effectively get straight into planning for the summer. We'll have a central program as well as some players coming up from down south. So we're back in together. For the initial part will be at the end of June, and then the vast majority of the playing squad will be in with us at the end of July.
That's great. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Gary.
Sorry, Sione, just one more quick one. What was Shona Campbell's injury and how is she?
Shona's fine. She had some cramp. She gets through a lot of high-speed meters, and obviously having to go from wing to fullback added to that. Wyland's got a pretty good kicking game.
So you put Emily to Cooper to the left wing, didn't you?
We shifted Eva and Emily in between that just to manage through that because we'd obviously made the changes just before Shona came down.